Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. Gonna have to forgive the angle at the moment. I'm going to continue painting this t-shirt while I talk to you to give you something to look at other than my mug, because I'm not going to show clips of either Amber or Foodie, because quite frankly I'm getting tired of their actual voice, and I'd imagine you guys feel the same. You're also going to have to put up with my side profile, which is not good, and gratuitous displays of my turkey neck, but can't have everything. Now, before I go on to the topic I actually want to address properly, I want to mention Foodie Beauty's last live, which I watched in its entirety, and I will never get that time back. It was... Foodie started a new health arc. Allegedly, she's eaten clean for the last 2 days, and now she is once again, the oracle that we all turn to when we want dieting advice. Now, Foodie claims that even though it's only been 2 days, she already feels the difference. To which I'd say, yes, if it had been 2 days, if you'd successfully managed 2 days, you would be feeling the difference, but not a positive difference, as you claim. You would, had you managed to cut out all the sugar and everything from your diet, the carbs, everything that you shouldn't be eating, should legitimately feel like shit if it'd only been 2 days, given the amount of withdrawals and lack of dopamine that will be currently going around your system had you actually done what you claimed you have done. So I'm calling bullshit on Foodie's claim that they have successfully managed 2 days of clean eating, because had they'd be feeling like shit, and they would look significantly worse than they currently do. For a start, they wouldn't be sleeping properly. They would have significant bags under their eyes. You would expect Foodie to look hungover had she successfully managed 2 days of clean eating. Now, this is only one layer of fabric paint. I use this stuff, but only because it was the cheapest stuff I could buy that was in a jar and not a tube. And I have another brand somewhere else because that was on special offer at the time. That's how I buy stuff, in bulk, in the biggest amount, for the least amount of money, with the highest reviews. So this is one layer on a plain black t-shirt. My paintbrush is slightly damp. I don't mix the paint and make it damp. I use a damp paintbrush because it makes the paint go on smoother. And I'm building up the layers until it becomes bright white, but only in specific places, so that you will be able to see the depth will be created. I know. Anyway, Amberlynn Reid. Amberlynn Reid and the messages from yesterday from Tommy on Instagram. Now, my first thought was, I told you guys they were still dating. And yeah, I felt slightly vindicated about that, and I went along with, I hope these people are okay. I went along with everybody else thinking, oh, now Tommy's coming out of the woodwork, this should be good. But I woke up this morning with a different feeling. And that feeling was, they're fooling us. This is manipulative Amberlynn being manipulative. I don't think they've broken up. This is why. Tommy is dishing the dirt, let's say. Don't you think it's kind of suspicious that the only dirt that Tommy is dishing is stuff that confirms and strengthens and adds to Amberlynn's argument that she has no control over her behaviour because of her BPD and therefore isn't responsible for anything she has done because of a BPD. Isn't it convenient how Tommy is only talking about those things? And isn't it ever so strange that after Tommy made so many outrageous claims about Amber and her BPD, that Amber, who is broken, isn't the slightest bit angry, isn't reacting in a way we expect from Amber when they definitely know they've been broken up with, and isn't upset at all, apart from the words she uses. The words she uses are the correct words you'd expect from somebody who has just found out that the person they thought they were still dating doesn't want to be with them anymore. And well, we'll see what happens in the live tonight and see if Amber cottons on that their response isn't quite proper. But also, isn't this amazingly convenient that it happened now when the majority of Girl World are talking about washcloths and inheritance money, and how, despite the BPD, what an awful person Amber still is. Isn't that rather convenient? Now look at all the things that Tommy wrote about. Every single one of them has to do with Amber's mental health and implies that Amber's mental health is not within her control and therefore she is not responsible for what she does. All the claims that Tommy is currently making is verifying what Amber's been saying about herself. She has and is trying to put the responsibility of everything she has done and been accused of, including probably the allegations against Mr. Snowflake, on the BPD. Tommy's going on about how Amber's blowing up their phone with 30 messages, blah blah blah, just after Amber said themselves they have a tendency to message people excessively when they're feeling slighted. Everything, I'm saying this again, and I'm probably repeating myself ad nauseum because apparently I cannot concentrate and paint at the same time, so I keep forgetting I've said things and I'm just repeating myself because multitasking is not something I'm particularly good at. Well, doing things at exactly the same time. I can have 10 projects on, at the same time, but I can't work on them all at the same time. So, I'm very suspicious. I think Amberlynn and Tommy are still together and are in cahoots to verify Amber's claims about their BPD. And I think we're just being manipulated even more. Because my spider senses, which I don't have, but you know what I mean, don't feel right about this. I don't feel right about this at all. I know the lengths a narcissist will go to change the narrative I think the timing, the things that are being discussed, is all very, very, very suspicious. And because everything is going so out of control for Amber, there will be no length Amber will be prepared to go to change the narrative in their favour. And how fortunate it is that everything that Tommy said goes along exactly with the symptoms that Amber claims they have when they were talking about their BPD in the last video. You know, I have these 9 things, these are my behaviours in these 9 things. Tommy has verified them all. Every single one of them. Additionally, this morning, we're all talking about Tommy. We're not talking about washcloths. We're not talking about inheritance money. We're not talking about accusations of sexual harassment. We're talking about Tommy. They've succeeded. They changed the narrative. I don't feel right about this. I am incredibly suspicious. It's all too rather convenient. In what they talked about, they haven't addressed any other issues apart from the BPD, and it just, backs up Amber's claims that they're not responsible for anything they've done. It's marvellous, isn't it? Anyway, that's my thought process. I think they're still together, and I think they're working together to basically make all of Girl World believe that they're not together still, which they were when they said they weren't. They still are. And that everything that Amber has ever done, she's not responsible for at all, because her BPD is that bad. To which I say bullshit, because if it was that bad, you'd barely be able to function as a human being. So, Foodie, I call bullshit. Amber, I call bullshit. And Tommy is bullshitting for the bullshitter. That's it. I could be wrong. There is a possibility I'm wrong. But I don't feel wrong.